What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Omen back with part 10 of What If Goku Was Born a Saiyan Elite. Part 9 is also included inside this video, guys. So really my bad for cutting it out of the last video. It was truly an accident. I didn't really notice until later on after I posted the video. And also we hit the 75 goal of subscribers. And we did it pretty quick, actually. I didn't even realize we did it that fast. But yeah, we did it that fast. And the new goal for this month will most likely be, I would like to say, 85 subs. 85 subs, yeah, that's the next goal. We're going to see if we can hit that. Hopefully we can. And then we just keep creating new goals from there. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Preliminary match before the actual tournament. Because Zeno is very impatient and he wants to see each of the fighters fight as soon as possible. Goku is fired up at this because he's happy that he'll be able to fight each of the strongest fighters from every universe. The Grand Prix makes it very clear to each and every one of the universes that they will need 10 fighters to enter the Tournament of Power. For the exhibition match, they'll only need a couple. Goku decides he'll bring Gohan, Majin Buu alongside him. Beerus questions if Gohan is a good participant, but Goku tells him to trust his judgment, and Beerus complies. Everyone arrives to the exhibition arena. The Grand Prix tells everyone when the real tournament starts, any universe that gets all their fighters knocked off the platform will be erased from existence. Grand Prix also informs everyone of the universal rankings, the mortal levels, and the wishes that they can get when they win the tournament from the Super Dragon Balls. Everyone that is attending the exhibition match of right now all becomes angry at Goku because they think since he opened his mouth, this entire thing is happening. When Bergamo goes down to the platform, he starts to do his speech like he did in the original, and he gives Zeno a proposal. Goku notices the hooded figure, and he gets intrigued by this because he's mysterious. Bergamo tells Goku to come down, and he flies down to the platform. The Grand Prix informs everyone that if Kakarot loses this match, any universe that is kicked out of the game will not be erased. But if Kakarot does win this match, then the same rules will still apply. Goku thinks to himself that if he loses here, then everyone in the actual tournament will underestimate him, and it will make things for him much easier to knock out most of the fighters so he can get his wish from the Dragon Balls. Before they could get ready to fight, Goku suppresses his power by a lot. Do you think you could actually beat me? You're a weakling. Bergamo starts to laugh, and then he rushes towards Goku to attack him. Goku dodges most of his punches and his kicks, but he also counters with a few attacks. Bergamo starts to grow in size, and Goku smirks, because this is when he'll lose the battle. Bergamo starts to pummel Goku, and Goku pretends like he's doing everything he can, but he can't just defend out Bergamo in the battle. Champa proceeds to let out a loud laugh at Goku's weakness, and the other destroyers follow up with a laugh of their own. Beerus is the only destroyer that is silent at this point, because he knows what Goku is actually capable of. But he is also glad that Goku's losing this, because no universe will be destroyed. Bergamo eventually beats Goku, and he laughs out loud as well, and tells everyone that he's the savior because he's defeated Kakarot. Gohan flies down to help his dad back up, and they fly back to the stands. As they're flying, Goku holds his head down, and he smirks, but nobody would notice this besides Toppo, because he was paying close attention to Goku, and he questions this in his head, but he decides to keep it away since Goku is the one who lost. The other fighters will eventually fight, and Top would eventually show himself because he'll be the one who wins the entire exhibition, and he shows off his power to each of the universes. Goku looks on at this, and he knew that he was right to be interested in who this guy was, because he's really strong. Once Universe 11 is announced as the winners, the other universe leave, and Champa tells Beerus that his successor is a disappointment before he leaves also. Once Beerus and the others get back to Earth, Goku decides that he'll choose his 10 fighters, and they'll consist of Android 18, Android 17, Vegeta, Raditz, Gohan, Piccolo, Raditz Jr., and Trunks. Goku realizes that he doesn't actually have a 10th fighter, and Vegeta calls him an idiot because of this. Unknown to everyone though, Goku does have someone in mind, but he decides to tell them a little later. As the days go on, Goku gathers up all the members, and they all trained until the day of the tournament. Goku decides to help Vegeta and Raditz train the boys because it seems that they grow much stronger when they fight together. Each of the three Saiyans end up learning Super Saiyan 3. But Raditz also has a good idea that he'll think will be the best for the kids. He tells Vegeta and Goku that they should do the Super Saiyan God ritual on the kids because this would be even more of a boost of power than Super Saiyan 3 would be. Vegeta and Raditz would solely help the boys gain more control over this form and be able to tap in and out of it. Piccolo trains with Majin Buu, and they grow more powerful together also. The androids train together with Krillin, and they all experience more growth also. Eventually, the tournament day becomes closer, and Goku tells everyone that he wants to bring back Cooler for a day so that he can be their 10th fighter. Everyone loses their mind because Cooler isn't trustworthy, and Goku assures them that he'll help him be under control. And if he does betray them, Goku will finish him off once and for all. Goku is sent to the afterlife to get Cooler, and he's wrapped up in a cocoon in a flowery place. Goku informs Cooler about the entire tournament and how if Cooler wins, he can gain a wish from the Super Dragon Balls. And Cooler is intrigued by this because there could be many things that he could wish for. Goku then proceeds to slice Cooler from his cocoon, and Cooler stretches his arms and flares his power. Goku walks away from Cooler to return back to Earth, but before they leave, Goku turns his head at Cooler so Cooler could see half of his face and one of his eyes turn purple. If you think about betraying us even once, I will destroy you. The grass that Goku's stepping on right now starts to disappear from the destructive energy that he's letting out, and Cooler starts to sweat and then nods his head. Once they return, everyone sees Cooler with the halo above his head, and they all get on guard. Goku lets them all know that they don't have to worry about anything. He and Cooler has come to a mutual understanding. Cooler then crosses his arms and scoffs, which then tells everyone that they had to decide who their team captain would be, and Goku thinks that Piccolo is the best fit to be the captain. Everyone else thinks about this, and they actually end up agreeing to this. Which then teleports everyone to the tournament stage, and the entire team look around in amazement at how the entire thing looks. Every universe that is there begins to laugh at Universe 7, because they're still all under the impression that they're all so weak. Kaba runs over to Vegeta, and he greets him, and he sees Trunks also, and he assumes that Trunks is Vegeta's son. Vegeta introduces Trunks to Kaba, and Gohan walks over to Kaba. I hope you're ready to lose, Kaba. Kappa begins to laugh, and Kale and Khalifa walks over to the Saiyan group, and Raditz Jr. blushes as she sees Khalifa. The older Raditz notices Jiren, and he tells Goku and Vegeta that that guy seems very powerful. Goku walks over to meet Jiren, but Jiren moves behind him in an instant, and everyone is shocked at his speed. But Goku isn't fazed by this. Jiren tells Goku to move away, and Goku smirks and walks away. Frost and Cooler also notices each other, but Cooler decides that he doesn't want anything to do with him because he reminds him too much of his brother. The tournament eventually begins, and everyone splits up into 3 groups. The younger 3 Saiyans stick together, Piccolo leaves with the androids, Cooler takes off by himself because he really has no chemistry with everyone else. The 3 older Saiyans decide to stick together. Goku decides that they should go find Bergamo's universe and knock each one of them out first because Goku wants to show Bergamo that he's nowhere near his level. Finding them wouldn't be as hard as they would have thought because Bergamo was also heading towards Goku to get him out early as well because he's still under the impression that Goku is incredibly weak. As soon as they lock eyes, Goku rushes in at Bergamo at speeds he wouldn't have been able to see, and he punches right through his shoulder. Once Bergamo flies away, Goku dashes off to catch him, and he just beats his body down. After just beating him up for a bit, Goku takes his body and drags him to the edge and throws him off. The destroyer of Universe 9 is in shock because his entire universe is losing so quickly by the god that everyone deemed as a weakling. Eventually, the entire Universe 9 is knocked off because of Goku's group. The androids and Piccolo runs into Universe 3, and they see the doctor that created all those robots around him. And he reminds them so much of Dr. Gero, and they begin to fight him and his robots. The younger 3 Saiyans are in a league of their own. The combined power of the 3 is enough to face off any of the lower contenders. They run around and fight multiple enemies and knock them off. While wandering around, they end up running into Kaba's group, and at this point, Kaba has already gained the Super Saiyan 2 form, but he isn't as beat up as he was in the original because Vegeta helped him out a little more, so that when he will meet Trunks, he will be able to use as much power as he can. Trunks transforms directly into a Super Saiyan 2 and he rushes towards Kaba and he and Kaba begin to fight. Khalifa wants to fight Raditz Jr. and he blushes when she tells him this. She then begins to rush towards him and they begin their battle as well. Gohan is left alone with Kale, but she doesn't look like she wants to fight, so he leaves her alone and just watches out for the area. As the fight with Raditz Jr. and Khalifa progresses, Kale begins to start feeling jealous because Khalifa is enjoying her fight with Raditz a little too much. And she starts to lose control and transforms into her legendary Super Saiyan form. The wind from her power almost knocks Khalifa out of the ring, but Raditz Jr. powers up and he rushes to catch her, and she thanks him for this, and his face turns entirely red. After Kale is finished transforming, she screams out Raditz's name, and she begins to rush towards him at great speeds. Gohan smiles at this because now he finally gets to join in the action. He transforms straight into his Super Saiyan 3 form, and he rushes towards Kale before she can reach Raditz Jr., and he kicks her away so she cannot reach him. Kale looks at Gohan, and she rushes in to fight him now. Gohan holds his own against her, but she quickly gains the upper hand because her power is growing consistently as she fights. Gohan decides that he should enter his Super Saiyan God form, and Trunks and Kappa stop their fight to go help him out to stop Kale. While Gohan is in this form, he quickly subdues Kale, and she starts to lose it even more. Jiren eventually arrives, and he punches Kale in her face, sending her flying. Kale tries to attack Jiren, but Jiren shoots a blast at her and sends her flying once again. Kappa charges up his galactic cannon and he shoots it at Jiren, but Jiren smacks his attack away and he rushes in at Kappa to strike him in his stomach. And when he tries to strike him once again, Hit arrives and does his time skip to freeze Jiren in place, and Kappa gets away. The fight between Jiren and Hit goes how it did in the original, and Hit ends up losing. Gohan then rushes towards Jiren to fight him, but Jiren is blocking all his attacks. Eventually, Raditz Jr. and Trunks rushes over also to help Gohan, and all three of them gang up on Jiren to try to get him out of the ring. The Saiyans are fighting in sync to beat Jiren, but it looks like it isn't doing anything to him. The boys all jump back and charge up their attacks, and they shoot each one of them all at the same time, making it combine into just one attack. An explosion happens and Jiren is hit by this attack, but when the smoke goes away, Jiren has his arms crossed with a dome around his body. The boys are all shocked at this because Jiren wasn't phased at all. Jiren then disappears out of their sight and the boys all look around for him until Raditz Jr. is sent flying with a kick from Jiren. Gohan and Trunks screams Raditz's names and Jiren strikes both of them in their face. But before he could throw them off the ring, Raditz appears and blears in front of him in Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and strikes him in his face, causing him to drop the boys and get pushed back a little bit. You're going to regret hurting them. Raditz rushes towards Jiren and their fight begins. Eventually, Piccolo and the androids are all knocked out of the ring by the Pride Troopers combining their power to beat them. And Cooler actually ends up meeting Frost, but he transforms into his golden form immediately and knocks him off. Cooler being on his own, he's actually knocked off some of the universes a lot quicker. And at this point, Universe 6 and 7-11 are the only ones that are still in the tournament at this moment. And the fights are really getting heated and Zeno is very impressed. Goku and Vegeta rushes over to Gohan and Trunks to help them up, and they're actually okay. Another power from before shoots up into the air, and this is when Kefla makes herself known. Kappa runs over to Vegeta, but before he could reach him, Tuppo kicks him off the ring. Vegeta wants to get revenge for this, and he tries to rush in at Tuppo. But Kefla kicks him out of the way, and she strikes him in his face, sending Vegeta flying. He then proceeds to try to go for Gohan and Trunks, and as she approaches them, Goku stands in front of her with his arms crossed, but Tuppo flies towards him and attacks him, but Goku blocks the attack. Vegeta rushes towards Kefla with his Super Saiyan Blue form, and their battle starts. Kefla is more superior than Vegeta in his form right now because she's in her legendary Super Saiyan form. And this allows her to beat Vegeta up. Because of all the fighting Vegeta has done in the tournament already, he's really tired, so he falls out of his Super Saiyan Blue form, and Kefla taunts the prince. Kefla then walks over to Gohan and Trunks once again, and she punches them in their gut. And Vegeta watches this happen while he's on the ground, and Kefla shoots a blast at them, making them fly off the ring. Vegeta watches the whole thing, and he reaches his breaking point because of this, and he screams out loud, and a white and pink aura surrounds his body, and his hair changes into a brighter shade of pink. Vegeta stands up, and Kefla sends a dozen of blasts at him, but none of them faze him. She grits her teeth and charges at him to attack him, but Vegeta knees her in the stomach and hits her with his elbow in her face. Kefla then tries to go in and hit Vegeta with some more attacks, but none of them works and he just ends up beating her up. Kefla then goes on top of a rock and charges up a blast to blast Vegeta away. When she shoots the attack at Vegeta, Vegeta charges up a blast of his own, and he screams out, "Divine Gallic Gun!" And a shiny light pink beam blasts towards Kefla's attack, and it completely consumes it, then her, and she's sent off the platform. Vegeta falls to his knees and breathes heavily and returns back to his base form. Top is having a harder time than what he would have expected fighting Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and he admits that Goku is stronger than what he expected. But he is going to beat Goku for what he has done to his Pride Troopers because this is justice. Goku laughs at this. "Your justice means nothing to me," and he kicks Topo away. Cooler then appears and he takes over Goku's fight. "Hey, what are you doing? I was fighting him." Cooler smirks at Goku and he rushes towards Top and he begins to pummel him. As Cooler is beating Top, he tells him that he's weak and the rest of the Pride Troopers are nothing to him. Cooler then proceeds to shoot a dozen of death beams towards Top, and while this is happening, Top makes up his mind. A purple aura envelops his entire body and Barrelmon smirks. It's about time. The Supreme Kai of Universe 11 tells everyone that Tops is in line to become the next god of destruction for Universe 11, and everyone is in shock at this, and Beerus starts to laugh. Top enters his destruction forms, and Beerus smiles. This will be nothing to him, and everyone is confused by the statement that Beerus just made, except for Whis. Cooler shoots death beams at Top once again, but they do absolutely nothing to him. Top then rushes towards him and absolutely destroys Cooler. Cooler is nothing to Top at this moment, and Top sends him off the arena with a destruction wave. Goku is beyond happy at this, because now he can show his new power. Once Cooler flies off the ring, Top directs his gaze towards Goku, and Goku smirks. "Your new power is nothing compared to mine." Every single destroyer is confused at this, because what is stronger than destruction? Beerus begins to laugh. Goku releases his power and lets out a scream. Top holds out his hand and forms a Hakai wave to shoot towards Goku before he could finish transforming. A purple electricity shoots out of Goku's body and his hair turns completely purple. Top launches his Hakai wave towards Goku and the blasts envelop his whole body, but he isn't destroyed. The blast actually sinks into his aura while he's transforming. This can't be. He's also the destroyer? Beerus continues to laugh at the other destroyers. Yes, he's my successor, the next Universe 7 destroyer. Goku has finally entered his Ultra Ego form and he puts a destroyer earring on his ear. Let's see who this better successor is. Top and Goku begins to clash, and Goku has the upper hand in this fight. Once they break away from each other, Top begins to shoot Hakai blasts at Goku, but Goku stands there and takes every single blast. Top then dashes towards Goku, and Goku appears in front of him and hits him 5 times in his chest swiftly, before Top could even realize that he moved. Then he jumps over him and kicks him into the ground. Goku stands over Top's body and he stomps on his arm, shattering his bones, causing him to scream out in pain. Goku punches his head into the ground and then he continues to stomp on his body, sending shockwaves every time his shoe hits Top's body. Top eventually reverts back to his base form and Goku holds out his hand and creates a ball of destruction and blasts Top through the arena, causing it to break apart. Top is then sent back to the stands and everyone is at loss of words because of this. During the fight with Jiren and Raditz, Raditz forms a spirit bomb in the air and throws it at Jiren, but he ends up falling into it. Jiren thinks that Raditz is out of the fight, so he starts to pay attention to Goku, until a white aura shoots up into the air and immense heat starts to erupt from Raditz's body. Raditz has now entered the Ultra Instinct form. Since Raditz is stronger than what Goku was in the original when he fought Jiren, he actually knows about the Ultra Instinct form also because Whis told him about it, and he's able to stay in this form a little longer because of this. Raditz dashes towards Jiren and throws a flurry of attacks at him at speeds that Jiren can't match at this time, causing him to get beaten up. Jiren then rips off the top of his shirt and he starts to be able to fight against Raditz once he boosts his ki up. Raditz dodges every attack that Jiren sends at him, but this slowly begins to stop because as the fight progresses, Jiren actually ends up being able to touch Raditz. Jiren grabs Raditz by the hair and he slams him into the ground, cracking the entire arena. Raditz bites Jiren's hand and he causes him to let Raditz' hair go, and Raditz punches him into the tower that is in the middle of the arena. Once Jiren back would hit the arena wall, Raditz rushes towards him with the aura of Ultra Instinct around his hand, and he strikes Jiren in the face, and this connects. Jiren spits out tons of blood, and he starts to talk about his family and his life. Then he screams out and charges up his power, going into his full powered state. Raditz tries to strike Jiren once again, but Jiren catches his fist and he slams Raditz into the ground. The new power of Jiren is too much for Raditz, and Raditz is beginning to lose the battle. Raditz tries to charge up his ki once again, but as he do, his body gives up on him and a purple lightning shoots out of his body and he reverts back to his base form. Jiren tries to strike Raditz while he's down, but Goku comes to his rescue and he shoots a Hakai wave towards Jiren, causing him to jump away. Well, Jiren, it's me and you now. Jiren begins to rush towards Goku, but Goku flares up his power, causing Jiren to be pushed back. Goku then rockets towards Jiren and they begin to clash. The power of these two causes shockwaves in the entire arena, and Vegeta and Raditz falls off the rocks, and they actually falls out of the ring and is sent back to the stands where Whis would heal them so that they could watch the entire fight between Jiren and Goku. Everyone from Universe 7 begins to cheer on Goku, as the Universe 11 fighters do the same for Jiren. Jiren sends a flurry of attacks at Goku, but Goku is tanking every single one of them, and he's becoming stronger because of this. Goku spits up a lot of blood and he rips off the top of his gi and he starts to laugh. This is amazing. You're even stronger than Toppo, and he had destructive ki. As Goku continues to talk, one of his eyes turn entirely purple and he begins to charge up even more of his ki even further. Goku then rushes towards Jiren, and Jiren can't handle the attacks that Goku is sending at him. Jiren throws a ki wave at Goku, but Goku breaks through it and he strikes Jiren directly in his face. Before Jiren could catch his ground, Goku forms a destructive Kamehameha and he shoots it at Jiren, and Jiren holds the attack back and even pushes it back. But Goku adds more destructive energy into it, and Jiren is finally blown away and sent back to Universe 11. The Grand Priest announces that Universe 7 is the winners of the Tournament of Power, and the Grand Priest grants Goku with the wish from the Super Dragon Balls because he's the last fighter standing and he's actually the MVP. Goku begins to smile, and he wishes for Planet Vegeta to be brought back to life. Raditz and Vegeta are left wide-eyed because of the wish Goku just asked for. And this is why I'll be ending off this video. Like, comment, and subscribe.